Good morning, Panama. This is Austin Hess with the Panama Good Times coming to you again for another Ask Me Anything Fridays. Now, this week questions come from David Storey out of the United States. David wanted to know about moving to Panama, getting residency, and just the legal process of actually moving to Panama. So I'm here with Jon Hanna, attorney at Pools Attorneys, one of the leading attorneys here in Panama. You definitely want to check them out. Their website is above. You can click on that link, take you directly to the website. A lot of these questions, maybe there'll be more details that you'll need to find, and you can do that on their website. So Jon, let's jump into this. Nice to see you. Why would an expat want to get permanent residency in Panama?
For several reasons, Austin. First of all, there's a lot of clients that already live in Panama, and they're on tourist visas, so they leave every 3 or 6 months to be able to renew their tourist visa.
Of course.
And it makes a lot of sense for those people to actually legalize themselves and get residency. For one, they don't have to leave the country every 3 to 6 months, which becomes expensive and kind of a hassle. And number two, they can actually drive they can get a Panamanian driver's license if they get residency here. See, the driver's license is, you can't drive on a foreign driver's license after a certain time period while you're in Panama. So a lot of people do it for that reason. And then the third reason is a lot of people do it because the banks now, really, most of the banks, at least the good ones, they are not accepting clients that are not either residents or have their residency in process. So that's an important aspect for banking purposes. And then, of course, there's a lot of benefits to getting residency if you're, for example, from countries that have high tax rates. A lot of times, there's certain countries that you can declare non-resident status in and become a resident of Panama, and they do it for tax reasons, basically. So you become a resident of Panama and you have a lower tax rate.
Yes, and it actually does feel really good when you get that cedula in your hand as well. Great. Well, that's a great understanding right there. Second question from David is, I understand that Pools Attorneys are experts in immigration law. How can an expat get residency in Panama?
Okay, so there are several ways for an expat to get residency in Panama, but the most popular method at the moment is Law 343, which is the Friendly Nations Law. Okay. And basically, to get residency in Panama, you have to qualify, you need to be a citizen of one of the 52 countries, I believe, that are listed in the law, which is basically all of North America, Europe, Australia, New Zealand, and several South American countries. And basically the requirement is you need to have $5,000 deposited in a Panamanian bank account in your personal name, and you need to set up a corporation in Panama, and you need to have a clean criminal history record. And basically with that, I can get you residency within about 3 to 4 months. You'll have your permanent resident status.
Awesome.
Yep.
It's fast. Actually, I heard that a lot from the community.
Yeah.
Jon is fast.
Yeah.
So if you want it done quickly, you go to him.
Yeah, we've done over about 2,000 residencies now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome. Very cool. All right, question number 3. How can an expat get a work permit in Panama?
Getting a work permit in Panama requires that you first get residency. Okay, and so once you have residency, and as long as your residency type, in other words, the type of residency visa you've got allows for a work permit, then you can get a work permit. And the work permit takes about 3 months to process, and it costs somewhere in the range of about $1,000 to $1,500, including legal fees and all the government expenses. But it's fairly easy to get once you've got residency. The Friendly Nations visa allows work permits. A lot of the other residency processes don't. So be careful about which residency process you go with, because not all of them offer the ability to get a work permit. For example, the Pensional visa, you can't get a work permit.
You cannot. Well, and you should be retired anyways.
Yeah.
And actually, I have to mention something on that. Panama's really taken up the laws in their regulations on making sure people have work permits. So if you do plan on coming to Panama and working, you definitely want to make sure you get a work permit. Just do it right. Do it right the first time, and you don't have to worry about it again. Okay, question number 4. What Panama residency options are there for citizens of countries that are not listed in the Friendly Nations Residencies Law?
Okay, so there are several different laws that allow citizens of other countries that are not listed in the Friendly Nations Law. For example, Colombians, for example, are not listed in that law, and Venezuelans are not either. So for those countries, we usually go with what's called the Self-Economic Solvency Visa, which is a requirement of an investment of $300,000 in either a 3-year bank CD or a property investment of $300,000 without a mortgage, or a combination of the bank CD with the property. So, for example, you could do like $100,000 in a bank CD and $200,000 in a titled property. Okay, there's that option. Now, that option does not offer a work permit, by the way. So, keep that in mind. And basically, there's that option, and then there's also the Reforestation Investor Visa,
Okay.
which requires an $80,000 investment in a qualified reforestation project. So you can either go out and buy a piece of property and reforest it and get it certified as a reforestation project, and as long as you can show an investment of $80,000, then that qualifies. Or you can go out and there's plenty of reforestation projects that already exist, like teak projects and cocobolo and whatever, coffee and whatever. So there's lots of different options there where you can just invest, and you're a passive investor, and you're just buying into either shares of a company that does reforestation, or you're buying an actual property within their project.
Of course.
And they manage it for you.
Now, does that visa allow a work permit, or?
The reforestation, no.
So both those ones do not.
Yeah, you can't get work permits under those.
Luckily, everyone watching this, you're probably from North America. The United States is definitely on the list. Canada is definitely on the list. Like he said, a lot of the European, and there's 52 nations out there that are on the Friendly Nations list. That, it's just a really easy process if you want to live in Panama. So, question number 5. If one becomes a resident of Panama, what taxes would they be responsible for paying?
Okay, so Panama has a territorial tax system in which the government of Panama taxes based on the source of your income. So if your income is sourced from within Panama, within the territory of Panama, then you're responsible for paying income tax in Panama. Also, for example, if you buy or sell a property in Panama, then of course you pay transfer taxes and capital gains taxes in Panama on the sale. However, if your income is not derived from Panama, then there would be no tax on the income. So another thing is that bank interest is not taxed in Panama. So even if you're a resident here, you're not going to pay taxes on your bank interest. So a lot of people, they'll come here, open a CD and live off the interest of the CD, and it's tax-free.
Which is nice.
Yeah, or another option is that a lot of people have investment accounts abroad, like they'll have their investment accounts in Switzerland or the U.S. or wherever, and the capital gains from those investments are tax-free in Panama, even if you're a resident.
Very cool. So there's lots of good information. Yeah. Jon is a world of information. If you ever have questions, him and or his team are just eager to help. Like I said, their website is just above. Actually, we got a couple of phone numbers listed there for them as well. Give them a call, send them an email, go on the website. You can learn so much information. A list of the 52 nations is on there. All the information about becoming a Friendly Nation resident, getting your work permit, everything's on there. So we look forward to seeing you in Panama, and thank you so much for your time today, Jon.
Thank you.
All right, guys, this is Austin Hash checking out from Poles Attorneys here in Panama City for Ask Me Anything Friday. Thank you, David Storey. We hope this helped you out. And get your guys' questions in there. We got more coming next week.
All right.